NERDSoul.
Woo! Ha ha! Late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down. Read that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. What is up, my people? Today or year. Come on with another wonderful episode of Dope Folks. You know how we do. Artists, actors, creators, people just having fun doing cool things. You know what I'm saying? And we have someone with us. A special guest right here in this box right here. Without further ado, director extraordinaire, I present Princess Filmz. What's up?
What up? What up? What up? Extraordinaire. I like that. I need to add that to my title.
Cool. So, while we get started, tell people kind of what you do.
Well, I do direct, I produce, I write. I started off in the indie space doing shorts, PSAs, music videos. Met you on a little, what we call it? A kind of a doc, a mini doc.
Yeah, like a short doc. Hold up. That one won an award too, didn't it?
It did won a Webby Award. It did. It was
so I was in there. I was just saying.
Yeah.
I was a piece of the winning.
Right.
I'm not saying I was Jordan. I'm just saying I might have been on the bench. I still got a ring.
I might have been Jordan, but I think the trophy still went to the owner. So I didn't get a trophy, But it's all good. But, I've been doing that for a while, and this big explosion happened in TV, and I was like, ooh, I need to go over there and get a part of that. So I've actually been in the ABC Disney directing program for the last 2 years, and just got an episode of the show Greenleaf that aired, about 2 weeks ago now? It's the fourth day, if you want to know which episode.
I think it was 2 weeks coming up on 3.
Right. So, yeah.
And you saw, like, I usually chop up small clips. You saw me talking about, I can't remember who I was talking about now.
Episode. And you know me, and I was really.
I know you'd be like, man, busy, so I'm like, I don't want to just be like, hey, we're talking about Greenleaf. Do you want to talk about Greenleaf? Like,
we're in a pandemic. Ain't nobody mad busy. Oprah ain't mad busy right now. Trust me when I say. Oprah just rolling out the bed, taking the shower, putting on her shirt, and then getting on. There ain't nobody that busy right now. So it's just all about scheduling and timing, but nobody's that busy. I tell everybody, if you want to meet somebody, you want to, get introduced to somebody, you want to take a meeting, now is the time, because they cannot say, oh, I'm so busy. They ain't that busy. Trust.
Like, you ain't doing that. So since you've been in like this directing program, doing, edging towards TV, are there any extra challenges that you found, or is it just kind of just scaling up from what you've been doing when talking about things like PSAs or commercials, music videos, things of that nature?
I get asked the question a lot, like, what's the difference between making a movie and making a television show? It's drastically different. Coming from the independent world and really not anybody handing me any kind of movie deal, so I had to either write, find a script, produce it, get it made. So in the indie world, I'm kind of like the top, so I kind of get to make a lot of decisions. The final decision is mine as far as certain things are concerned. And so I'm kind of used to like having the power. TV is not like that. TV is...
Well, and that's why I asked this, because I've had writers on here. They talk about the difference between writing on film, writing on TV, writing on comic books, writing on animated stuff. So it's interesting to hear the differences from different people in different, different positions.
Yeah, TV, both sides are very collaborative. So you have a lot of people who you're collaborating with, but on TV side, you have a lot of people who are above you that you have to make happy and make sure that what you're doing is in alignment with the show that they already have. So it's one, you kind of coming into people use this example all the time. You come into someone's dinner party and you bring in a dish. You're not like, trying to make the full meal. They already got it planned. You coming in, you're a guest in their house. So first and foremost, you have to I would say know your audience, know your surroundings, and which means you know the show, you know how it works, how they used to doing things, what has made them successful, and then you try to figure out, well, how can I add a little salt and pepper to this meal that's already made? Greenleaf is like a cult following. People love that show. And so me coming in, I couldn't come in and try to remix it. I just gotta come in and, make sure the story stays really, really strong and follow what they've been doing. But then, I put my little cinematic touches here and there, on there. And that's what they want. They want you to bring something to the table, but they don't want you to take over and do something really abstract.
So since we're on that, and we've been covering Greenleaf, I'll say this before I get to the next one. How would you describe Greenleaf to someone who's never watched it?
You are a fly on the wall to what goes on behind the scenes of a mega church. It's a mega. I'm a church girl. I've been in church since I was little. Started going when I was little with my grandmother, and I've been in small churches. I've been in mega churches, and I used to always, because I would work in the ministry. I used to be over the girls' ministry at my last church, so I would always be trying to do something to help. I didn't just show up. So I used to see things that would happen, and I'm like, if people only knew, they probably would not be coming to this church.
Man.
But in front of everybody, though, still, God is still the foundation of it all. Trying to do the right thing, trying to be the best person is still the foundation of it all. But you just realize that these people, when you go to church, that you think are perfect, or they figured it out. They got it. They know how to connect to God. They're doing the right things. You want to be like them. But you realize with this show, they got issues just like you.
Man,
yeah. Is that what you were saying?
So, yeah, that's a good one. Because I grew up in the church, and I reviewed the show with my wife, Lady Lisa. She grew up in the church, so it's like when we saw the show, I was like, "Oh snap!" I think she told me about it, and I was like, "Oh, let's watch this." So, following up the question, we were going live, I think, on the premiere of this season, and he it was Panda. Panda wrote in and was like, "Hey, this show sounds ridiculous," and I was like, "Yes, but it's awesome." I was like, it's a nighttime soap. It's a nighttime soap.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. I've been following this since the first episode. So
I think it comes down to, I do see it as a soap. It is a soap, but it's so well done. And it's
like kind of leaning drama-ish.
It's a step above a soap, so it's not like they're like dun 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 dun. But they do have So I do see it as a soap, but I just think that it's a little caliber above. No offense to the soap people.
It's a slight step above. When it comes to your small or little remix touches that you throw on it to this episode, since it's out, and I guess you can sort of spoil it. I mean, the episode, it's 2 episodes ago. What kind of cinematic touches did you look to place on Greenleaf to kind of have okay, well, I know they do this, but let me throw a little piece of princess in there.
Well, one of the things that I was just excited to do is when I got to their mansion, I got to spend time before the cast, crew, everybody showed up, and I had times when I went there by myself to just walk this estate. And it was so gorgeous. And I felt like, as a fan of Greenleaf, I have really not seen enough of it. I feel like they are holding out. They got this beautiful house and this lake, and then there's, horses over here. It was massive and amazing. So I felt like
they ain't showing enough.
Yeah, I'm like, anytime that I'm outside this bad boy, we doing the cranes, we doing the shots. And what's funny is that one of the producers said to me, he said, I saw that cinematic stuff you was putting in there. He's like, but I like it. But also, I stepped enough of the show to see where this producer, his name is Clement Virgo, he directed a lot of episodes, and I realized that he was doing that, and not too many of the directors was. So I'm like, one, it'd be okay to do it because he's done some similarities to it.
Cool.
And two, but I could put my spin on it. Or like I would, like one of the things, there was a scene where Bishop was going to this mission to go visit Tara. And I was like, let's put the camera behind the garbage can. Well, first I did a crane shot for him driving up, down, him and him down. And then I put the camera behind the garbage can.
Had that one lady out there walking around. I was like,
because the place is sketchy, but they never really do a lot of low angles. Like I'm just peeking around the corner. That's not really a Greenleaf thing, but I felt like that particular scene.
That was a nice touch, though.
Yeah. It could, they wouldn't be mad at me if I do it. So little stuff like that.
He rolled. I'm like, why he coming up in this neighborhood with this nice car? You know,
I know.
Like, yo, look, you bring like the '94 Celica up in this neighborhood,
right? You supposed to bring
you got that car that you got, you know, like all you just keep the tags current on it when you want to go do dirt.
Exactly.
Ride low, got your shades on, like.
Bishop was like, this is how I roll. This is how I roll anywhere. God is protecting me, so I don't have to worry about the people. So, and he didn't. And he messed with him.
All right. So, outside of Greenleaf, when it comes to relaxation, I guess you could say like chilling, downtime, decompression. Do you watch other people's stuff, or do you like read? Do you game?
No, I'm a student of this game. I mean, I watch. If anything is nominated for an Emmy or Oscar, I have seen it. And then I look at a lot of indie stuff to see what new talent is coming out there. What are people doing? I'm really getting more into something that I haven't been into in my filmmaking, which is more of a technology space. And that's because obviously what we're going through, we're going to have to use a lot of technology moving forward until we get this pandemic under control. So I've been finding myself becoming a nerd of more visual, technology. And so I've been doing more studying in that space, taking some online and seeing what, I like to be able to speak the lingo. I don't like to be like, the thing that you over there and do this right there. I need to be like, I need a crane, I need this, I need a drone, I need this, and I need you to do this, or not. Cool. So I find myself just being a student of that right now, but I'm definitely a student of the game. I watch zone out TV too, though. I always say when I'm just like, okay, my brain is hurting and I do not feel like dissecting or pausing or taking a picture of this shot that I like, I want to watch some zone out TV.
Then
I watch.
Good.
Yeah.
What's your zone out TV? What's your zone out TV when you're like, yo, let me just.
I like right
Don't
now.
lie.
I'm not. Okay. There was something I wasn't gonna tell you, but I will tell you that too. Okay, but right now I like reality shows that are more when someone's dream comes true. So if it's like America's Got Talent or World of Dance or Voice or so I like it. It just touches my heart. And then too, I'm a talent spotter. So I like to be able to be like, oh, they gonna win, they gonna make it, because spot talent is something I enjoy doing.
They gonna make it.
Some extra zone out TV when I watch Married at First Sight and Pound Life. I watch Borders, and that means it's just on the TV, or I watch Family Feud or something.
Family Feud, oh boy.
I mean,
NERDSoul Light love him some Family Feud though.
I love me some Family Feud too.
That
and
boy
it's
love Family Feud, I tell you that.
Yeah, and I get mad at the people for not answering. I'm like, how did you not know?
Yo, everybody be mad at Family Feud, yo. Like to the point where I think I could put together a team and win it. I've told Lady Lisa a couple times. I'm like, I could win Family Feud. I could bring home the 20K.
I think it's definitely harder in person than it is being from home. I've been to the tapings of the show several times, and I realized that with the lights and we're nervous and all the stuff.
I don't buckle under the pressure, yo. I don't buckle under pressure. I got this. I
know. All right, we go ahead out.
I remember.
Good job. your father-in-law, whoever.
One of the funniest episodes, I remember there was this guy, and they were like, they had the one-on-one where you had to hit the buzzer real quick. You know what I'm saying? So they asked something about women, and dude was like, boop. He was like, titties. It was but dude was like, sup there? Sup there? Like, everybody was like busting out. He was like,
the man needs to spit out my limeade.
He was so confident in that thing too. And I don't know if it was up there because they cut the clip, but he was confident. He was like, "What's up there, Steve? What's up there?" He just said it like that.
Yeah, the people would be like, "It's there, Steve." It's there. He'd be like,
I'd be like, "They ain't up there." See, when I roll with my squad, I'm bringing a squad of people that don't say dumb stuff. I ain't bringing no. Like, I've seen the clips of all the people that be like, mommy, mama. Nah, I ain't, no dumb stuff on my squad. Ill squad, we're gonna be like, number 1, number 2, number 3, let's roll. 20K, let's get it. I'm telling you, Steve Harvey watches the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know, Steve Harvey watches the show. I'm bald-headed, he bald-headed. You know what I'm saying? It works. So he know. That's why Steve Harvey's ducking me, because he don't want me to come and take that 20K. He's like, yo, man, I can't let NERDSoul get in this, because if I do, you're gonna be broke.
But I think though, I must say this: it's been 20K for like 100 years. They need to up that 20K.
They do need to take it up a little bit. I'm
like, it's 5 people. 20K, you ain't getting.
It's time to put it up to 50.
3 weeks. And then like, okay, you want something? I mean, we got shows like "Want to Be a Millionaire." Family Feud really is just for fun, but they need to up that. Come on. They need to up that. That can take the whole family out for dinner.
So on the study side, when you're watching stuff to study, who have you been studying lately?
Lately, I feel a little all over the place right now, just because when we first got locked down, I had this massive list of shows that I wanted to watch and I heard about. And so I was binging. And then I got to the point where I'm like, I think I finally am tired of binge watching shows. So I've been trying to now I've gotten some new different names of different shows, but I found myself like taking my different lists. I'm like, because all these streaming sites is getting on my nerves. It's too many streaming.
It is too many.
I'm like, they keep growing. So today, I watched Black is King by Beyonce on Disney Plus. I only have
I'll probably end up peeping that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I have been watching a lot of stuff on Netflix. I have a Netflix list, an Amazon list, an HBO list. So I go from show to show because I was just watching the show. It was good for a season called Marcella on Netflix. It's kind of like a crime, murder, mystery type of a thing. And it was like, I was trying to pick stuff outside of what I do, like murder mysteries, but I was trying to pick shows that is not what always resonates with me. You know, because I watch those first, right? But I have a ton of shows that I love. I'm counting the days for The Handmaid's Tale to come back. But
I've never peeped that. Because when it dropped, I didn't have Hulu at the time. So I kind of missed that wave. See, I got Hulu now, but there's tons of other stuff on Hulu that I'm like peeping now.
I would say this: if you ever do get into it, give it a shot, because it sets its own tone and its own pace for how it moves. So it moves very slowly. We sometimes use the fast, but it moves very slowly. As you get into it and realize it's the style of it, you actually appreciate it more because you get to really see the beauty of these shots, or the acting gets to breathe. It's not like boom, 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 boom. It's crazy story, and believe it or not, it's so fitting to what we're going through right now with our current, president and the pandemic, and all ties through. But you won't even notice that probably to like the second or third season.
Okay. Now, speaking of the pandemic, we did a virtual con called The Rent Party. We did this panel called, kind of like working through quarantine. Like, how are you doing? Like, how have you been doing through this? Like, because I know everyone has been kind of like operating differently, and especially as a director, as a writer, as a producer, how have you been operating to kind of absorb the effects of course, the pandemic in general?
Well, I mean, it took a minute for me to get a groove like I have now. Like I have a real schedule now. Like it feels like kind of my quality of life is similar to what it was before because I have office hours, I have meetings, I have things like this that I chime in on. I do my social media, but I found myself like, okay, you have this mega mountain of a list of stuff that you wanted to do forever and ever and ever and never had the time to do it and to really sit down because most of the stuff is not hard to do, it's just time consuming.
Yeah,
So
it's like tedious.
I'm like, you have no excuse. So I started out by like revamping my website, Princess Films with a Z Productions.com. I started, and I have a personal one from just me as a director. Then I have a production company, and then I also went through and just started crossing the T's and dotting the I's with my production company, so that as I get projects, that I'm ready to roll. And so I did all the legal stuff, and I took a class about starting your own production company, even though I had one. But I was just like, I want to make sure I really, understand everything. So I've been taking some classes and just really working on projects that I've been wanting to work on for a long time. And I finished my book called Hood to Hollywood. I'm just trying to figure out when the best time to launch it is. I think I may do the fall because the summer is right now a little crazy and people are all over the place. And I feel like at least kids go back to school, not go back to school, but go back to school in your house. That you're gonna want to sit down and have something to read or just take your, versus
this summer has been very interesting because I remember when this pandemic started, and I remember being like, "Yo, this thing gonna be going on for like a year or so," and people was like, "Nah, you tripping." I'm like, man, it's gonna be a year and some change before we chilling. Nah, man, we just gotta get locked down for like a month or so. I was like, everybody ain't gonna do it. I was like, everybody ain't gonna do it.
I knew it was gonna take some time, but what I did think that I'm wrong about is that I thought the summer was going to help us. And the fact that the summer is not helping us lets me know.
Summer ain't doing nothing.
We know that this is different than anything we've seen before. It mutates, all kinds of stuff, how you can catch it. But I thought, like, how can this virus, these germs really exist in this heat? It should kill it. Should.
Man.
But it's not. It is not. So I don't, and the flu is coming back.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news because I'm seeing mad stuff come. I'm like, I called this. There's stuff going on with voting, with the election. I'm like, I called this. I was like, I called it back in March. I said, watch this get used to play funny with the election. Now all of a sudden people say, I'm like, I told y'all. I was like, I'm like Nostradamus in here. No, but
it's really it can be challenging, especially when you're a creative like me who's used to doing and going and it's like, okay, when am I gonna go back to work? I ask myself that every day, and I keep saying, I don't care how many DGA, SAG, PGA, all the different calls I've been on. One thing that I know for sure, and that we all know for sure, is that we don't know nothing. They all keep talking about
no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea. We have no idea. So my thing is to be prepared when I do believe things will get better eventually. Yeah. I do believe we'll get a handle on it eventually. And when that time comes, I just plan to be prepared and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, because I've been in a similar mode. Like I've been trying to definitely continue the kind of like the tenacity, the energy, the consistency, and just building as much as I can because I know, when we get out of this, it'll be even more fun to look back and be like, all right, cool. I stepped up, this much in the last year and a half or whatever. So with that said, to the flip side, we did TV, music. What's the most recent either song or album you've listened to?
I'm such an old school. So
drop that old school. What you got?
You said Not so many things, but I'm a big, 90s hip hop and R&B girl. I'm from that era.
What you got?
I mean, what you want? Which you want some R&B? You want some hip hop? But then I'll even go back to some 80s stuff too, because it's just like I'll just sometimes songs will pop. Cool. I just create my own playlist, or I'm like, Alexa, play this. Let me be quiet because she'll start playing something. You're around here somewhere.
So, with that said, 90s R&B. Who is your go-to 90s R&B?
I would say on the female side is Mary J. Blige,
Word.
Carey.
All right. Got a little bougie with that Mariah Carey, but we're gonna keep it going.
What else on the female side? I mean, I just really like good music, but I'm really believe it or not, it's not even R&B, but I'm a big Celine Dion fan. Celine Dion is probably
okay. All right.
Now, what I'm missing right now, I go see Celine every year in Vegas. Like I always go see her perform. I'm probably 10 times now. I love Celine Dion.
I mean, I see a nice little playlist. All right, so on the hip hop side, what you got?
On the hip hop side, I like the old school. I like Tupac. I like Biggie. I even like put some public enemy because of what the streets is telling me. I was like, oh, I gotta go to fight the power on y'all.
Yo, man, you gotta fight the power, yo.
I love Cool J, but I like Eric B. and Rakim.
All right, word.
I mean, I like the real. When I used to be able to understand what they was talking about, when I knew like it was like lyrics and then a hook, like it wasn't just crazy random lyrics that don't make no sense to nothing, and then possibly a hook or all hook and little lyrics. I love it. Yeah, I like those songs that there's really like a real, there's real lyrics and then there's a hook. The hook shouldn't be the whole song.
The hook shouldn't be the whole song. I'm gonna just leave it right there. So, speaking of, say, the music that you're going with right now, if you were to give someone a playlist like, hey, this is kind of my mindset from day to day, what artist would be in that playlist?
I put together like a motivational playlist, and I usually I'm directing to. So I mean, I like a lot of motivational songs. And believe it or not, he's not real popular right now, but Kanye is like, I probably have more Kanye West songs, on my motivational playlist than anybody else. I like them kind of like, but it's like the old school stuff, not more so. I tried to get into this last album and I appreciate the artistic part of it, but it didn't resonate with me like the old stuff was.
Because it wasn't good. Yo, look, Kanye watches the show. I do Beats Vibes Life. He watches the show. He knows. He sees me with the other three horsemen. He knows the deal. Like, yo, look, I'm like, last good joint.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on right now. But yeah, it's more so song than just artist. It's like it has to be a song that really makes me feel something. So I will have to go to my list. But I mean, like, I like a song that makes me stop in my track, whatever I'm doing. Like, hold on, wait a minute. Let me just stop for this song. I really like a lot of cool. Some of his more of his upbeat gospel songs. Praise the Lord.
Yeah, gotta praise him, get that energy, you know what I'm saying? Gotta praise him, gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, on Sundays, that's the day.
All right, so my second to last question. Everybody has that moment when they want to start directing or start writing, but beyond that, what was the moment that you felt, or what was the project that you felt that, okay, now I know what I'm doing? Like, because everybody has the moment like, hey, I want to do this. But when was the moment, or what was the project when you were like, okay, I've got a handle on this. Like now I'm a director. Like, now I'm a writer.
Okay, I'll tell you a little story because it'll make sense of how to get to the answer. When I first came from Cleveland to LA, I thought I wanted to be an actress. I had modeled for a lot of years, so I was like, natural progression is to do acting. Once I started acting classes, I had a friend who wrote a little short, it was really some scenes, right? And I was like, oh, I'm going to put this, in this showcase and just direct it and see how I feel about it. And I got this little energy because I had never directed anything before. And I got this like, wait, I enjoy more standing on the side of the stage, watching the actors do what we rehearsed and people laughing and crying at what we rehearsed than I ever have with me being in the forefront. So from there, I did a short film of that, just a couple of scenes from that short. It was scenes, then it became a short. And once I did that short film, even though I hadn't went to film school at that time, it was amazing to me how much I actually knew what to do. And I loved how it worked everything about me, from being organized to people skills to execution. And I love this whole, put it together, have this vision in your head and then you see it on the screen. It just mesmerized me. And when we won 13 awards with my first short. And
go ahead. Yeah. I see you.
So I was like,
maybe this is it.
And one of my mentors was like, I don't know if you understand that your first short is better than most people's 20th short. Like, this is really good. So I was like, okay. So from there, I ended up, but I felt I'm a nerd. Like, I'm a nerd of the game. So I was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to learn it inside and out. And then from there, I started doing a lot of PSAs, videos, commercials. So those were like, I didn't have that feeling yet though. But when I finally did my first feature for Lifetime called Seasons of Love, and it was, starring Taraji P. Henson and Latoya
Shout
Luckett.
out to Taraji P. She also watches the show.
I love her. It's my girl. And, she was an EP on it, and Gladys Knight was in it. And I was just like, look how blessed I am. I waited a long time to do it. I mean, it took me about 10 years of directing a whole bunch of other stuff before I got that shot. But I was like, my first film ain't Tyrone and them. My first film is Oscar-nominated people and Grammy Award winners. And I got the Empress of Soul.
Shouts to Tyrone and them.
Tyrone, I love y'all, Tyrone, but I like.
You can find them at your nearest gas station or corner, hanging out.
So, and when I did it, when I tell you, I was exhausted like I was never exhausted before. I gave everything that is me. And when I was finished and once we, sent it to the network and we were completely finished, I was like, I actually can do this.
Dope.
I'm actually good.
Okay. Word up. See, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? People, achieving their goals, taking it to the next level. So,
from?
Huh? Oh,
you from?
I'm from Virginia, Richmond. 2 up, 2 down. VA. That's right. So, last question. A lot of times, when all of us are kind of like working in the thick of it, some of us think about legacy, some of us don't. And I've asked this question to everyone that's come on. Do you think about legacy? And what do you want that legacy to be?
100%. Because I'm a true believer in I'm only here to do one thing, and that's fulfill my purpose. And it took years of soul and to figure out what that was and what that looked like for me. So once I figured that out, any project that comes across my desk that does not fit into it, it's easy for me to be able to know what to say yes or no to. Before it was like, oh, just do whatever because I want a job and I want to make a check. But now it's more like, that doesn't fit in my wheelhouse. That's not my lane. So I'm going to pass on it. And some people may think that's crazy. But for me, at the end of the day, when all is said and done, I know that when you see a Princess Films production or directed by Princess Monique Filmz, that I wanted to represent the God that's in me. I even look for that moment. Like on Greenleaf, for example, there was a moment, and they didn't even know what was going on with me. I was just like over there, like tearing up because there was this moment between Grace and her father that it just touched me so to see this father be there for his grown daughter, and she needed her daddy. Like she needed her daddy, and I don't necessarily have the best relationship with my father, but it made me feel like I need someone else to see these type of moments between a Black woman and a Black father. I think there should be more moments like this. So it just touched me so. And I realized, I mean, the show deals with God, so it was kind of easy in certain places. But so I think about that in everything that I do. And if it doesn't line up with my purpose or what I want people to see of me when I'm gone, I don't do it.
Cool. Well, guys, you heard it here first. Princess Filmz, they're doing her thing. Before we get out of here, tell all the wonderful people where they can find you.
Well, I'm Princess Filmz with Z, Filmz on IG. I'm on Facebook. I have a Princess Filmz Productions page, and I would love for people to connect with me via my website, which is princessfilmsproductions.com, because I am planning a lot of great things, and there's so many things that people do all the time, and I'm really trying to encompass what people ask me for. Like, they'll say, how do I submit my headshot, or how do I submit my project, or how do I become a mentee of yours? I'm a big believer in mentorship. If you subscribe to my website, you will get information that will answer those questions. Even I have a workshop that I'm working on. I have a book coming out. We're about to launch Real Black Unicorns, which is a mentorship for African American female directors. And I call it that because you wouldn't believe how many meetings I've been in, and they're like, "You're like a unicorn. You're just so rare." And I'm like, I'm not as rare as you think. It's just that they're not exposed to how many are out here.
And that's why I do this show. That's why I hear stuff like this all the time. Like, I didn't know Black people were making movies, or I didn't know there were Black writers, or I didn't know there were Black comic book creators. I didn't know. And it's like, there's a lot.
You want to if you're a new person, if you're a seasoned person, if you got projects, if you can act, if you can sing, if you can dance, if you can be a great crew person, definitely make sure you stay in touch with me, because I have a lot of stuff that is coming down the line that I'm gonna reach out and say, who wants to do this, who wants to do that. So.
Word up. Well, guys, of course, we thank you for hanging with us. Holla at us. We're gonna holla at you. Down in the comments. Let's talk directing. Let's talk Celine Dion. Let's talk Mary J. Blige. What's the 411 classic album? Let's talk, let's talk about a little Tupac and Biggie.
My life. I mean,
My Life is another classic too. My Life is another classic. Mary got about 3 classics.
We got a new joint out. Her Tony Braxton just came out with something new, so I'm definitely gonna.
Yeah, because I saw that on the feed. But we can talk Greenleaf, or just directed in general. All y'all film heads going to jump in. Of course, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. YouTube is the main hub. I got podcasts. I got that music for you. You get your bump on. But hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe. You can hit that thumbs down. But if you do, I'm going to send Lady May after you. And that girl is self-righteous, and she don't play.
You got to have her.
All right? I'm just letting you know. She mean, all right? She was mean back in, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. So you know she mean now. I'm just letting you know. She mean now.
What they call it? It's like nice nasty. Nice on the show. I was like, oh, that's Lady May right there, nice nasty. She gonna be nice.
They ain't nothing nice about it.
She don't play.
No. So guys, thank you for watching, and from us to you, we're just saying peace.
Peace. Thank you.